Yeah, man, this is Kevin Christian, and it is the 25th of August 2021. So, artificial telepathy. People will say the voices in your head, negative. Um, the voices embedded into a certain frequency, the signal, okay? It's not a sound wave, it's a signal, like a radio station or anything else that can be received, but you can't hear it otherwise. It's not a sound wave. Your cellular service works off of signals. Your Wi Fi is working off of a signal. All of these things can be translated with equipment into a sound wave. You are the equipment. Artificial telepathy is part of remote neural monitoring. It is a part of EMF broadcast, and it is a signal embedded onto a certain frequency, your EMF signature frequency that is unique from all other beings. Okay? So the voices in your head, no. No. You don't hear it in your head. You may hear it kind of in your head if they're right here with the broadcast. Okay? But you hear it from where it's coming from where their broadcast is. When I say that, I mean a gang stalker who's living as a broadcast, not necessarily had to be a gang stalker, but if you didn't consent to this, you didn't set the settings up on the neural monitoring online yourself, then yeah, they're a gang stalker. They're gang stalking you. Okay, they are now gang stalking you. So, okay, so in the past, I've gained a lot of insight about artificial telepathy. So there may be a certain type of setting where artificial telepathy can be broadcasted on like a common type of signal that would allow anyone to hear it. But typically, if you hear something with artificial telepathy, then nobody else hears it. It's uh, it's on your unique signature frequency, and you hear it, and anybody else that's on your channel, probably gang stalkers, they would hear it. Okay, so in the past, I've stumbled onto ways to record artificial telepathy. Typically, people try to record artificial telepathy with some type of recording device that is using a microphone. And a microphone is listening to sound waves. And artificial telepathy is not a sound wave. So you can't turn on a microphone or your cell phone voice record feature that uses a microphone or any other device that's recording sound waves and record artificial telepathy. You can record sound waves with those things, but sound waves are different than signals. And artificial telepathy is a signal. So there's specifics that I don't know. Obviously, if you were to learn all of these specifics, then you would be able to quickly resolve your problem of remote neural monitoring by proving everything that you're trying to say. So there's some things that I have learned. One thing that started to happen was I was using a call record app on an HTC Android, and I've done this on other devices too. But the one I used to have 5, 6 years ago was an HTC, it was an Android, and I had a call recording app on the device. So, what happened was I started to hear gang stalkers in the call recordings, okay? And it didn't necessarily match up with whoever I was calling. And you know, if you use a call record app, there may be some that work both ways, but the call record apps that I've used, they work to record you, but you can't hear who you're on the phone with, okay? But I was hearing people in my call recordings that I wasn't talking to on the phone. And at first, I started to try to figure out, well, what's going on? You know, and maybe it has something to do because some of the people I was calling were the people that I was hearing. Even if I didn't like get an answer from them, I would still hear them. And it made me think, oh, well, maybe it's a cross-up, you know. Maybe I'm hearing what's on the other side anyway, even though they didn't answer. Like I'm hearing from their phone or something. Shortly, like no time at all after that, I realized that it didn't matter who I was calling. It was the same people that I would hear in my call recordings. So now I'll tell you this, it's not like some perfectly clear conversation that you can hear. It is sometimes, but what you're dealing with is interference. So I didn't realize immediately what was going on, but soon after I did realize this is a broadcast. This is some type of broadcast. And so what happened was I started to use a second phone and I started to call myself. And with one phone, calling the other phone, and I got them both in my hand, the call recording app would pick up some of the broadcast that was coming to me, and it would get into the recording as interference. And so it must be, it would have to be, some kind of similarities, something close to the cellular signal for it to interfere into that cellular signal and end up on my call recording when I'm calling myself and recording people that are somewhere else because they're broadcasting to me and I got these phones and they're near me, and so this call recording app is picking up the broadcast as interference. So sometimes you would hear a little bit, sometimes you would hear a conversation, and I got all of that. So it was very difficult to start to process the recordings. And the reason is because, as you know, when you start to listen back to your recordings, you got your headphones on and you're listening to your recording and you hear stuff in it, right? You hear it and you're like, oh, listen to this. But I don't hear nothing. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there, Kevin. There's nothing in the recording. I'm sorry. I just don't hear it. But listen, you don't hear that? No. Okay. So, I know I'm not going crazy. I'm trying to figure out why is this happening. Okay. So, the way that artificial telepathy works is it tends to disperse. The signal tends to disperse on that ambient noise, right? So you got your headphones on and you're listening to that recording, right? And you can hear all of that artificial telepathy right now. It's right now. Seems like it's in the recording. This becomes a favorite gang stalker game that they play. Pretend like I'm in the recording, right? Is that them now? Or are they in the recording? All right, and this becomes a huge problem because you're on remote neural monitoring and you can't just turn them off. So they sit there and mess with you while you're trying to listen to the recording. And it'll make you think that it's in the recording. Okay, so you have to get technical on them. So I started putting all these sound files, these recordings into Audacity. It is a recording application on desktop, Windows and Mac, and it's free, and it's really, I don't know if it's one of the best, but as far as free programs, you're not going to get a better one. It's the best one that I've ever used, and it may be comparable to the ones you pay for. I don't know, because I've never paid for a high-end recording program. I've always used Audacity. Even when I make music and stuff, I would use Audacity and like Reason and stuff like that. But anyway, in Audacity, you could see the sound waves, right? And I could play this stuff and I could replay it and replay it and replay it. And they love to try to time me right in and pretend like they're in the recording. They'll sit there all day and play this little game like it's so fun to them or something. Okay, but you definitely can receive artificial telepathy, EMF broadcast into a cell phone call recording as interference. That is a 100% fact. I've proven it beyond a doubt. I have the edited files. I have where I've like tried to do noise reduction and chopped up snippets so I could, because I used to record for like 24 hours a day, man. I would record 10 hours straight, man. And so obviously, you know, if I go to post something, I would chop it into a 2-minute segment or something like that. So you don't want to put everything out there, but I have all the original files. I have all the original files on multiple things everywhere. I got them. Okay, that's some of my prizes right there. That's some of the first ones from back in like 2015 and 14, where I was accidentally recording artificial telepathy. Now, this is a big deal, and so here's some insight. Usually, when they're talking to you and you hear them out loud, like if they're talking to you, you're on remote neural monitoring, somebody's talking to you with artificial telepathy, they're somewhere else, but you hear them out loud with no devices. You don't need anything, no microchips, no nothing. It's all working off EMF broadcast, satellite broadcast, and EMF signature frequencies. And so you can hear them, okay, out loud. Now, there's other gang stalkers on your channel, on your neural monitoring. They're not all talking to you. There's probably plenty of them on there, and there's some talking to you. So I got like 3, 4, 5 of them that talk, and maybe different ones try to come on now and then. And they all try to use different little voice settings. They can use each other's voice settings or different voices, stupid little. The guys I deal with, they use the stupidest sounding voice settings. It's like amusing to them. They love the dumbest sounding stuff. But this is a pretty big deal, okay, because it proves to me from experience, from personal experience, and I have all the files still, like I said, but them talking to you out loud, the ones that are talking to you out loud, that's not even what you record as interference. So that's got to be something different. That's got to be a different wavelength, some other type of signal. Okay, what you hear in the recordings is the other ones, the ones that don't have it turned on to talk to you out loud with artificial telepathy. You hear the ones that are just connected secretly. They're secretly on your neural monitoring, connected to you unconsensually, secretly, doing their live streams and doing their gang stalking secretly. Okay, those are the ones that I would record. Okay, and mine's all the same group. It's the same group. Some of them will be on, some will be off or whatever, but the ones that were out loud weren't the ones. That wasn't, so what I would hear is not what I would be recording. But I would go back and compare, and in real time, like it's different, and it's different people. But it's the same group, like I said. So don't get it twisted and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You see, you don't even know who it is. I know exactly who it is. I know who has my neural monitoring, and I know who most of the people in the group are that do this gang stalking to me. But I definitely, 100%, without a doubt, have the recording still of gang stalkers connected to me and broadcasting and talking, okay? And it's a artificial telepathy. You're still receiving them in some way. The broadcast is obviously still coming to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to receive it as interference on this phone that I'm holding next to me with a recording, call recording on. I can't record it with a sound wave thing. I can't record it with a voice recorder, but I can record it with the call recording app because it's a signal, all right? But I can't record them ones that I hear out loud. Even though they're all the same groups, this is a different setting, and it's a different type of broadcast on a different wavelength. And all of these things can be taken as insight, and we can use that. And we can use that intelligence as a process of elimination. And we know these things now. I know these things now. I know that the broadcast is still coming to me, even the ones that I can't hear. So it's a secret mind control abuse or whatever you want to call it, okay? You're still receiving them, okay? And you're not consenting to any of it. The ones you can hear out loud or the ones that are just doing it silently. And imagine how many people out there are probably being gang stalked and secretly receiving all these thoughts and stuff from somebody else. It's like mind control. Mind control. EMF broadcast mind control. And they don't even know it. They don't even realize why they feel like they feel. Why they're frustrated, why they're mad, why they're sad, why they're depressed, why there's something that they really ain't. They don't even know. They don't realize it. But I promise you, an investigation, a scientific investigation, a legal investigation, police investigation, any kind of investigation is solid with what I'm telling you. And I have all of that. I really do. Even some of the people in my recordings try to come out publicly and say that, oh, you must have just recorded me and then put me into your recording later. I got the original files. I got the original files from the Call Record app. Okay, and I could convert those into an MP3 or WAV and put them into a program like Audacity and show you. And I could show you the original files. It's got the date and time stamped. Okay, and it's all a timeline that can be proven absolutely beyond a doubt. So an investigation into my situation, where I've compiled this evidence, these insights, these absolutes, it's a fail-proof, 100% solid case against gang stalking, and proves artificial telepathy, and it also proves mind control and EMF broadcast. Without a doubt. And I've got all of those files, and I've got them in multiple places, and I've got all of the old stuff on SoundCloud. And some of it's sketchy as hell, I know. Some of it you can't hardly hear nothing but static. I know. Some of it you can hear them talking clear as day. And it's all from the same place. A call recording app on my old HTC. And yeah, I have all the original files. Yeah, I have it all still. And it ain't going nowhere. And it proves artificial telepathy. It proves EMF broadcast, mind control. And it proves gang stalking. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. Wouldn't be a bad idea for you to do it yourself. Same thing. You can use a home phone. You can use an iPad on Wi-Fi with a call app to call your cell phone, call recording app, and just record. And as long as it's near you, it will likely at some point pick up some EMF broadcast, artificial telepathy, mind control broadcast as interference, because it's coming to you and your cellular signal is similar enough to intercept it as interference. Appreciate y'all watching. This is Kevin Christian.